In this video, we are breaking down why a crypto analyst is warning XRP holders that the next 1 to 2 months could be life-changing. This isn't hype, rumors, or emotional price predictions. Instead, this outlook is based on historically reliable market signals that often appear before explosive altcoin moves happen. When Bitcoin continues to dominate headlines and liquidity, important structural changes are quietly forming underneath the market. And according to this analysis, XRP holders may be standing at the edge of a major opportunity. So, what hidden market signals are most investors ignoring right now? Crypto market cycles rarely announce themselves loudly. Instead, the most important transitions often hide in plain sight. Right now, Bitcoin is still absorbing most of the market's liquidity, which gives the impression that altcoins are weak or uninteresting. However, history shows that this phase is usually the calm before capital rotation begins. When Bitcoin dominates liquidity for too long, it eventually reaches a point where upside becomes limited compared to higher risk assets. At that moment, capital doesn't leave the market, it moves within it. Analysts are watching these structural signals carefully because they tend to appear before altcoins start outperforming, not after. For XRP holders, this suggests that market may be preparing for a shift that hasn't yet shown itself in price. So, why is Bitcoin dominance near a critical turning point? Bitcoin dominance currently sits near 59%, a level that has repeatedly acted as a historical pivot point in previous bull cycles. When dominance reaches this zone, Bitcoin often begins to lose relative strength, not because it crashes, but because investors start searching for higher beta opportunities elsewhere in the market. Historical data from Blockchain Center shows that when dominance stalls around this range, it often leads to rapid altcoin outperformance shortly afterward. Importantly, dominance does not need to collapse for rotation to begin. A slowdown, hesitation, or flattening is usually enough to signal that capital is preparing to move. This early phase typically benefits large cap altcoins first, placing XRP directly in the spotlight. So, what does the Altcoin Season Index reveal about market timing? The Altcoin Season Index currently sits at 37, which confirms that the market is still firmly in Bitcoin dominant territory. At first glance, this might seem bearish for altcoins, but historically, this reading actually appears before major altcoin rallies begins. When the index is low, it tells us that altcoins have not yet outperformed Bitcoin. This means the market is far from euphoric and nowhere near it is nowhere near exhaustion. Instead, it suggests that expansion potential still exists. Analysts interpret this as a sign that the market is loading energy, not releasing it yet. From a market impact perspective, this creates favorable conditions for explosive upside once rotation begins. So, why are catalysts calling this an early mini altcoin season setup? Blockchain Blockchain centers long-term models associate the combination of high Bitcoin dominance and suppressed altcoin performance with early stages of what they define as mini alt season. This phase usually starts quietly and accelerates rapidly once momentum builds. Projections suggest this phase could begin around mid 2026, aligning closely with the analyst short-term expectation. Market impact during these periods is often sudden, catching late investors off guard. For early holder for early holders, especially in established assets like XRP, this stage historically offers outsized returns relative to risk. So, why could XRP benefit more than most altcoins? XRP has a unique historical behavior during market cycles. It often lags during Bitcoin-led phases, frustrating holders and shaking out weak hands. However, once capital rotation begins, XRP has shown the ability to accelerate rapidly. Its deep liquidity, established global infrastructure, and reduced regulatory uncertainty compared to past cycles make it particularly attractive during early altcoin inflows. Analysts point out that similar dominance setups in previous cycles preceded sharp XRP moves once Bitcoin dominance started to fade. Market impact. The market impact here is significant because XRP tends to absorb large inflows quickly, amplifying price movement. So, is this a guarantee or a high probability setup? The analyst makes it clear that dominance charts signal probability, not guarantees. Broader liquidity conditions, macroeconomic events, and institutional behavior still influence outcomes. No indicator works in isolation. However, when multiple signals align, Bitcoin dominance near historical resistance, a suppressed altcoin season index, and favorable market structure, the probability of rotation increases. From a market impact standpoint, this alignment often marks the moment before the majority realizes what's happening. For XRP holders, this means the opportunity may arrive earlier than price action suggests. And finally, in my own personal opinion, this setup deserves serious attention. The market rarely rewards those who wait for confirmation, and by the time altcoins are trending, the largest gains are often already gone. What stands out here is not emotion or hype, but data-driven probability. XRP has historically punished impatience and rewarded conviction. If Bitcoin dominance begins to stall, XRP could move faster than most expect. While nothing is guaranteed, the risk to reward ratio at these levels appears increasingly attractive. For XRP holders, the next 1 to 2 months may not just be about price, it could be about positioning before the market wakes up. And this finally ends our video. Thank you very much for watching and see you on the next one.